So today we have some really thick fog here in Stockholm, so I decided to grab my Ricoh GRIIIx and just go out and try to snap some photos. Sun is probably going up soon and it's supposed to be a sunny day, so I think that could look very cool combined with the fog. Let's see what we can get. Let's wait for some traffic here. I think it could look interesting with some lights behind the trees here. Today I am exposing manually because the light conditions are pretty much constant. 1/25 shutter speed, which is possible thanks to the great image stabilization in this camera. And now I just set the shutter to f6.3 and ISO 320, which gives a slightly underexposed image. But I think that is the look I'm going for anyway. I want the pictures to look a bit dark, at least now, before the sun is out. I'm gonna set the shutter speed even lower to see if we can get some motion blur. Didn't look that good. Let's keep it at 1/25. One thing that is really bad about the Ricoh GR3X is the autofocus. As you could saw, it has big problems even with pretty simple photos. And notice it is especially bad when it's a bit dark or a bit foggy like this. I guess it's contrast detect only, it kind of feels like that. But yeah, for me it's good enough in most cases, even though it could definitely be better. By the way, when I was editing the photos for this video, I found myself over and over again returning to 5 different edits that kind of seem to fit every photo in the video. So I actually made a preset pack and you can grab it right now for $10 if you are doing fog photography and want to achieve the same look as the photos in this video. Click the link below in the description to buy the preset pack. Let's try macro mode. macro mode. I constantly need to bring the shutter speed up a bit because it gets brighter all the time. Let's see if this can be a better angle. I think I should maybe change the focus mode. It feels like it is maybe not the best mode. Where do I change the actual focus mode? Or do I have to change it first to... Ah, okay. Auto area AF. Yeah, this seems a lot better for landscapey shots. Sunrise was almost an hour ago, still no sunlight. So yeah, maybe it's not gonna be a sunny day, or maybe it's gonna happen a bit later. That's a bummer, because that's kind of what I've been anticipating. Some beautiful sunlight through all this fog. Always looks amazing. But I'm gonna walk around for maybe 1 hour more and hopefully the sun will show up. Let's try to take some other photos in the meanwhile. Trying to wait until the cars are in good position so it looks interesting. This looks pretty cool. At least the top part here. No, I don't think I want the road. Always helps if we had a road that kind of leads into the picture. Always improves it a little bit. Let's take the bridge over to Hökarängen, an area which I think usually is more foggy than other areas when it is foggy because it has so much grass. I lived here before, some years ago. This could be a very beautiful scene. What? This is actually the second time that happens. Unable to store image. I have no idea why that happens. But yeah, it seems like Ricoh has a little bit of software work left to do on this camera. Ah, love this scene. When the trees are kind of in different layers in the fog. Very nice. Yeah, it definitely looks thicker over here. Hökarängen delivers when it comes to fog. Let's look at this. Trying to line up the lights in a good way. Love this photo as well. Let's try the under angle. I should have had a bit of a wider aperture, focal length. Now I want to give you an example of why I prefer to shoot with a real camera, which the Ricoh GR3X is, and not a smartphone. Let's compare two photos of the same scene. First I'm snapping a picture here with a Ricoh, and then I'm trying to take the same picture with my iPhone, even though the focal length is a bit wider, shorter. And yeah, have a look for yourself. I mean, the problem with the iPhone, the reason I don't like it is that it does a lot of processing on its own. It is kind of an editor that makes up its mind of what it wants from a photo and tries to deliver the best to you. And this is of course great if you're not a photographer yourself, but for someone who wants to control the way the image looks, it is not that good. And it often makes the picture look unnatural in different ways, especially when the circumstances are a bit different from the usual, like fog. It usually doesn't really look as it's supposed to. I guess it tries to defog the photo because it thought it was unwanted fog or whatever, but yeah, it doesn't turn out that good. Now we are in Hökarängen, and yes, the fog is a bit thicker, I think. Not finding too much of interest to photograph here. Think I'm gonna start heading home. And let's see if we can find anything on the way. I've kind of given up on the sun. Yeah, we'll see. But I'm gonna start walking home now. Love this kind of scene. Again, many layers of fog and simple shapes that are even more simplified by the thick fog. Sure, the subject is not very exciting, but I don't know, I still like the aesthetics. And we're entering a big green field now, which is probably why the fog is even thicker, because there is so much humidity rising from the grass. Earlier this field was just a big empty field. I loved that, but now they have built some kind of rugby stadium. It feels like the need to fill every gap with something. It's very strong, not only here but everywhere in the world. I kind of liked it when it was just a big empty field, like they allowed just one piece of the city to be empty. 40mm, which the Ricoh GR3X is effectively in full frame equivalent, is surprisingly tight, I think, in many cases. It's almost, not quite, but almost as if I regret getting the X and selling my GR3. But overall I think 40mm is more useful because I can easier isolate subjects, especially when doing portraits, which I do quite a lot of my family and such. But for example here it would have been great with a wider focal length, and I could have done composition like this, which looks a bit better. I think the iPhone is 28mm, the default lens, same as with the original GR3. Wow, the fog is incredibly thick right here. It's almost as if you can touch it. I love this when you can see the power lines just disappear into nothing. Pretty uncommon that the fog stays around for so long. Now it's 10 AM and the fog is still here. It seems like it will stay the whole day. There are only like, I don't know, very few days each year here when this happens. Must be like less than 3 days, 2 or 3 days maybe per year. Someone is walking over there. Could be interesting with a silhouette like that, if I can capture it in the right place. I don't know. Like these shapes. Pretty boring subject, pretty simple, but yeah, looks good with some fog. Okay, I think that's it for this walk. It was enjoyable. The sun did not come out as I had hoped, but still a very enjoyable walk, and yeah, I got some half decent shots, I think. See you soon again in the next video.